How's it going?
Good. Thanks for taking the time as well. Thank you.
So I had a great time watching this film as a fan of the game, and I
Oh
know for you
yeah.
as an actor, yeah, to James's
Excellent.
mental deterioration, very much like the game and how he mentally and physically kind of falls apart as this story goes along. So as an actor, it must have been quite rewarding to explore an arc like this one, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, you're always looking for something to get your teeth into, and yeah, what better than someone going through a sort of complete mental collapse and imagining, well, creating this sort of incredibly dark, sort of twisted world, and yeah, and having secrets to unpack and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's sort of what you look for as an actor. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess exploring this character in two time periods, what we see of his relationships in the past and obviously how that affects what he's going through and the mystery in the present. Was that quite useful to obviously have that context and to kind of inform what you were doing in both kind of time settings?
Yeah, it was nice because you don't really get that as much in the game. So
No.
I think, I mean, you have to, a game doesn't just instantly transfer into a medium of a film. So I think we needed a bit of light with the dark. And, at its heart, it's a love story told in sort of it's all the parts that you don't see in a rom-com of that love is and yeah, we just sort of explore those darker sides, but you need to see the light with the dark, or we're not going to understand why James is so obsessed with finding Mary again. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, something that is pulled straight out the games is obviously Pyramid Head, very
Hmm.
iconic character from those.
Yeah.
So, what were those days on set like for you? What kind of presence did he have on set? Was it very practical? So you kind of got to see what we see as an
It
audience?
was all practical, the whole
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, so it was
Wow.
yeah, so I mean, yeah, all the monsters were practical. I think there was only one that wasn't. But yeah, they're all played by, performance artists or a lot of dancers. I think all the nurses it was an entire Serbian ballet troupe, and the Armless was quite funny because the Armless is like one of the most, for me, it was one of the characters that I really remembered from playing it when I was younger, and it's one of the most sort of horrible, kind of disgusting creatures. And anyway, the armless takes her mask off, and it's just the most beautiful Italian dancer. So it's like a beautiful, glamorous girl underneath it all. So yeah, it was good fun. It was good fun. We had a lot of laughs, despite the dark material.
Yeah, that's awesome. And of course, a film like this, it does take place in a different world in some ways from our own, with what we see in Silent Hill. And I know you
Yeah.
worked on Volume, which I imagine must help massively with that compared to just the blue screens. So what were
Yeah.
those experiences and those days like on set to have that? And did that
Um,
help with your performance?
I mean, luckily we didn't do too much volume stuff because I
Okay.
hate it. It's I don't know if the listeners readers to this will know what volume stage is, but it's basically, it's an enormous sort of almost 360-degree screen that changes, but because it's got to work with the camera, it moves when the camera moves. So the world is sort of moving around you, and it's you just get motion sick. So yeah, it's yeah, luckily most of it was actually practically built sets, thank goodness, because yeah, volume stages are actually not my favorite thing.
Wow, no, that's so interesting because I
And
know
it's
obviously a
very
lot.
hot, it's big
Yeah.
screen, so it's boiling hot. And basically, you just end up feeling very sick.
Well, some of my favorite scenes of yours in the film were with Evie, a
Hmm.
really talented young actress, and
Oh, it's
it,
fantastic. Phenomenal.
yeah, those scenes as Laura when she's tormenting James, I said to her earlier, was that fun to to torment Jeremy in those moments? But what was it like for you working with her and the kind of dynamic the two characters have?
Well, she's great. I mean, it's I don't know. I mean, she was just sort of kind of starting off in her career now. Now
Mm.
she's she's gone rocket ship to the stars as Evie, and I'm not surprised at all. But yeah, I mean, when you work. I was very lucky. I didn't have a lot of because this scene mostly it was like doing a one-man play, this movie.
Mm.
So I was incredibly happy whenever I had a day where there was another actor on set because most of the time it was just me. So it was lovely to have, some days with Evie, and then obviously I had quite a few more days with Hannah Emily Anderson, who plays obviously all the different incarnations of Mary. And luckily we all got on very well, and yeah, had a lot of fun doing it because yeah, the days when I was just on my own were a bit of a slog. Yeah.
Yeah, and but talking of those days on your own, given what James is going through and how isolated he is, as he's exploring this town and the secrets, was that almost quite helpful though, given your performance and what was needed from you in those moments to kind of be on your own and to be going through that?
Um, I don't know. I mean, personally, it was the scenes were kind of dark enough.
Hmm.
So no, I probably didn't need it when the camera wasn't rolling. I think it was hard enough keeping up all that stuff when the camera was rolling. So no, I like to. I definitely felt the need for a break in between takes rather than going and sitting on my own and just sort of getting more and more yeah into sort of a dark headspace. I think I was doing my very best not to sort of yeah fall into that sort of black pit.
Yeah, that's completely fair enough. But you mentioned playing the games, but when
Hmm.
obviously it came time to prepare for this one, did you go back and look at those, even if you didn't play them, just some walkthroughs or the cutscenes?
Yeah, I did. I did go back, and you know, the thing that I remembered because I would have been playing this when I was about 14, 15. So when I got the script through, I saw the title and went, oh, and then I remembered the feeling of playing the game rather than sort of specific bits. I remember this sort of really melancholic, kind of very atmospheric, sort of depressing feeling that really appealed to me as a teenager, going through all the teenage angst and stuff. So it was that I wanted to recreate and try and recreate, and I think that's what Christoph Gans does so well. And I think that's what people loved about the game. It's not necessarily about the jump scares. It's about this sort of very unsettling feeling that you get when you play it.
Yeah, well, I think the film nails that, and I think you nail that as James as well. So, Jeremy, thank you so much for taking the time
Thank
because
you
it
so
was
much. Thank
had
you.
a great
Thanks a
time
lot. Have a
watching this.
great day. Oh, I'm pleased to hear it. Thanks so much. Bye now.